Hey Watch Gang fans, coming at you again with a unboxing video as well as a little bit of a description about wheel spins. I've seen a lot of comments and concerns on some of the Facebook posts about people complaining about how does the wheel spin work, how come I always get the lowest tier, I'm not getting the value for my money. I really disagree with this if you look at the wheel spin for what it's intended as. First of all, I don't spin the wheel unless there is something in tier 1 that I actually want. I won't spin the wheel hoping that I'm going to get an upgrade for something else. If I do get an upgrade, that's awesome, but I'm not planning on it. So I don't spin the wheel very often, but when I do, it's because there's something in tier 1 that I really want to receive. That being said, doesn't always work that way. And well, let me back up. So this is like the third time I've had to put the audio to this recording. Been either noisy at the house and or YouTube picked up something that it thought was copyrighted music in the background, and rather than try to pull that one piece out and patch it in, I'm just redoing the audio for the whole video. I apologize if the audio doesn't really sync up exactly with what's going on the screen, but I'll try to keep it as close as I can. So this is going to be a wheel spin from the out of order wheel that was over the weekend. I want to say May 18th-ish. They did an out of order wheel. The Paris watch was on the tier 1. I really liked the Paris watch. I was trying to get that one. You'll see during the spin what happened. And here we go. So this is the interface to the spin. You can either buy a spin or you can use points to get to use the spin. How do you get points? Well, every Thursday they do a social media correction. Every Wednesday they do Wheel Point Wednesday, where anybody who is a member of Watch Gang is automatically entered into a drawing. They're supposed to draw 3 people every week, and then they spin a wheel and it kind of randomizes how many points you win. If it's a slow week and not a lot of points were won, they'll usually spin for a 4th person. So that's one way to earn points. Another way to earn points would be through the referral program. If you look down in the description, you'll see a link that I have for a referral program. If you become a member and you use that link, then whoever provided the link gets, I think it's 50 points, plus you get 50 points to put towards spinning the wheel. When I first signed up as a new member, I got a bonus of 50 points there as well. Some of the older members have a program where they get so many points for every dollar that they put towards renewing their membership, but I believe they don't do that for any incoming members now. That's only for existing members before like February of 2020. I've heard, but I have not been able to confirm, that you can also get points if you post a video, like an unboxing video, and they use part of that video in their advertising, that they will also send some points your way, but I haven't been able to confirm that. So as you're looking at the wheel, you can pick what you want. Like I said, I was really wanting the Paris, so on tier 1 I made all 3 of my choices the Paris. You can do that if there's something on tier 1 you really want. Well, actually on any tier, If there's something on any tier that you really want, you can make all of your choices for that tier the one that you want. Just kind of, increases the odds for that one. You can see if you've already made a selection for a tier and you try to select something else, it will give the option, do you want to replace or do you not want to replace? The higher up in tiers you go, the less choices you get. Once I get up into the tier 3, 4 Grail, usually I'm just not doing a lot of research. I'm just picking something that I think looks nice, because odds are I'm never going to win that. I do have a friend on Facebook who just won the Omega Grail item. They're not sure what it is they're getting yet, but they're really excited because they just got something for Omega. For a lot of us, like the Omega Speedmaster is the Grail that we're, hopefully someday will own. Given my choice between like a really nice Rolex or the Omega Speedmaster, I would want the Speedmaster. Okay, so here I took too long in deciding which ones I wanted, and the Paris watch sold out. I could at this point back out and not do the spin. I would be okay. The points or the spin credit that I have is good for up to 5 years, but I also like the Casanova. And you'll notice they have three or four different colored Casanovas here. So rather than selecting all of the same one, I'm going to select 3 different Casanovas and we'll see what we get. Everything else should still be populated, so we'll do the spin. And surprise, surprise, it's going to land on tier 1, but it's going to be the black and gray Casanova. Alright, so that's how you do your spin. So their system is going to give me the chance to spin the wheel again. And what this is a new spin. You're not getting rid of what you just won. You're just spinning the wheel again. So here it shows that I've won the out of order Casanova black and gray, that it's going to be shipped sometime around May 28th. I went online and just kind of got a picture of this is about what it will look like. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of damage there, but it's that's kind of their thing. Out of order is like a pre-distressed watch. That picture is a little more distressed than what you would normally get. So that brings us to today. This wasn't supposed to ship until the 28th, and today is actually the 24th, so it's been 8 days since I've spun, and it's already here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get this opened up. And this is pretty much how all of my, so I have a subscription to the black tier and 2 subscriptions to the original tier. The original tier is $49 a month, well, $49.99, and then the black tier is $99.99 a month. And then you can do what they call the platinum tier, which is $2.99 a month. Or if you prefer, you can do it quarterly. You don't have to do it every month. It's got a really nice kind of a simulated canvas covered box. It's a hinged box, and watch is on a pillow, and you can see there's the instruction manual down below it. So this is, again, it's the black and gray Casanova. The band and the case are kind of like a distressed antique bronze, or antique brass, excuse me. Got a signed screw down crown. Got a signed clasp with a lock on it. This is a quartz Swiss Ronda 515 quartz movement. The case is 44 millimeters. It's got a unidirectional bezel with sapphire crystal with what looks like probably about a 2x Cyclops over the date. It's got the screw down back, so you've got to actually have a tool to, if you're gonna be doing anything on the inside. So let's see how it is on the wrist. Now, I have 7 7/8 wrist, so that's, you know, pretty big. But every single watch that I've gotten from Watch Gang, I've actually had to size down, usually at least a link. And you'll be able to see on this one, I still have all the protective stuff on it here. I'll pull it off here in a second, and you'll see it's pretty loose on my wrist still. So we're going to go ahead and take out a link. For those of you that have never sized a watch, it's really easy. Like I said, I'm only going to take out one link. If you're going to take multiple links out, you want to take an even number from each side of the bracelet. So above the 12 o'clock position, take one. Below the 6 o'clock position, take one. If you're going to take an odd number, take the extra link from below the 6 o'clock position. Just seems to make the watch fit a little easier on your wrist. Go ahead and get out my tool. So this tool, and I'm not going to use it correctly, but you know, it's really adjustable. You can get your link on there, and then you can raise the little bed that the link sits on so that it supports it at just the right height. I'm kind of impatient, so I'm just going to hold it where I want it and use it to press out the pin. Now these pins are a split friction friction fit pin. Some watches have actual screwed in pins. Some of them have what they call pin and collar. You kind of want to pay attention to what it is before you start taking it apart, because if it's pin and collar and you pull the pin out and you're not paying attention, that tiny little collar is going to take off on you and you'll never find it. Like I said, these are just a friction fit split pin, so I'm not really worried about that as long as it doesn't roll off my table. Okay, and like I said before, I'm going to take one link out, and I'm going to take it out from below the 6 o'clock position. That way, when the wrist watch sits on my wrist, it's kind of closer to me, but the clasp is still on the bottom of my wrist. So we're going to press out this second pin, and then it should just slide out at this point. And I'll give you, as I put this back together, I'll give you a little bit better look at what that pin is, or looks like, and how it works. So line my bracelet back up, take one pin. Really important that we put it in the same spot that it came out, or from the same side that it came out of, and that, if you can see, that little split mushroomed head is the last part to go in, because that's what provides the friction and holds it in place. You can see there it's a little proud. I would not be able to push that back in with just my finger, so I have a little mallet that comes in my repair kit for my watches. We'll go ahead and use that and tap it in, and that'll get it to flush. And then if you compare it to all of the other links, it's actually they're all actually recessed just a little bit. So once I have it flush, I'll use a push bar to push it in the rest of the way. And you'll be able to see that here in just a second. So see right there, it's still flush. And I'm just going to use this pin tool to push it in just a little bit more. All right, and there's that. So we'll go ahead and throw it back on the wrist and see how it feels. So it's a lot better. It's still a little loose, so we're going to do a little bit more adjusting, but we're not going to take another link out. I think if I took another link out, it would be too tight. So some watches, and not all watches, have this. This watch has a micro adjustment, and it's actually got 4 spots. If you use all 4 of them, then you would probably actually be taking up more room than another link. but you can just go one spot at a time. And again, I don't recommend doing this the way I'm doing it. Get it down on the table to where you have it secured, and because if that little pin comes out, it's gonna take off like it's spring loaded, and it will just take off. And once again, you'll be forever if you can find it at all. Okay, a little bit better, still looser than I like. We're gonna go one more spot. If you don't have the tools and or you don't want to do this, pretty much any jewelry store will size it for you, depending on how well they know you or what their policies are. They may or may not charge you. When I first started collecting watches, I went into Walmart, and their person at their counter just sized like 3 watches for me and didn't charge me anything. I have had some people tell me that when they get watches sized, that they get charged, anywhere from $10 to $25, just depending on where they go. So just once again, this screw down crown. I'm kind of off screen, but I'm just showing the screw down crown. I've already got the date and the time set. I'm kind of OCD when it comes to setting the time. All of my watches, once a month, I pull them out, and I actually have an atomic clock that's down to the second. And all of my watches, other than my automatics, all of my quartz watches get set to the second with each other. And then whenever I put on an automatic watch, I'll wind it and then set it to match my quartz watches.